welcome. You're watching the Policy Times Global Entrepreneur and Innovator Show. This is an accelerated growth program mentored and advised by Dr. P. Sekhar. And also, we are very blessed that we have the advisory board with us. In this show, we select some promising startups which bring some unique and innovative solution of a problem that the entire society is facing. Now, today, as we all know that COVID has done enough disruption in the society, bringing or giving birth to many. Like COVID, we have the artificial intelligence, which will be bringing a lot of disruption in the society. We have a startup. In fact, we have selected a startup called Tenzai, which is an artificial intelligence data science solution provider. And we have the co-founders of this promising startup, Tejas and Senthil, with whom we will discuss a lot of issues with regards to how this startup came to how this idea came to their mind, what is their plan, and what are the solutions they are going to provide. So, welcoming Tejas and Senthil, welcome to the show. My first question to maybe Senthil would be to start off. How did this idea of starting an AI-led platform came to your mind?
Okay, sure. So, Akram, like today, basically, like everybody knows, okay, the value of AI. Okay, I mean, we need not educate everybody on that. But the problem, okay, is still that, okay, many organizations still face challenges. Okay, and because of these challenges, they are not able to realize the full potential of AI. So there are two or three primary challenges, okay, or barriers, okay. So one is clients are finding it difficult to identify and prioritize AI use cases. Two is the high complexity and learning curve of AI solutions. And three is basically the fast paced and the dynamic technology system. Okay, so these are the main problems that we wanted to solve. Okay, and this is also the primary reason for us to start Tenzai. So today, to help companies realize the full potential of AI and help them to overcome these challenges, we have launched what we call as the purpose-driven AI framework. So this framework is based on our 60 plus years of combined experience in data, AI and data science. So using this framework, what we do is we help our clients realize business value. First, by helping them to identify the right use cases. Two is to alleviate the technology complexities that they face in AI deployment. And three is to ensure that the end users feel empowered when they are using AI solutions.
Excellent. Can you share any most high impactful projects that you have worked on?
Yeah, sure. So here I can give an example. Okay, so a few leading universities, okay, I mean global universities, were basically trying to reopen their campuses during COVID. Okay, yes, online classes were happening, but for many of their disciplines, okay, I mean online classes were simply not working. So hence they wanted to ensure a safe and healthy environment for students, okay, who want to come back. For one of such university, okay, what we did was we built a computer vision solution, okay, which helped the client to ensure COVID compliance within their university premises. So the solution, okay, what it basically did was it used the existing CCTV infrastructure and using the live video feed, okay, we analyzed the images in real time to ensure COVID compliance. So basically what we did was, okay, we kind of incorporated use cases like face mask detection, okay, social distancing so that people maintain proper distances, and it also detected for overcrowding incidents within the university campus, and it also looked for hygiene alerts, okay, and also we also had a special thermal camera which also helps us to detect EBT, okay, detection, etc. So, and one major challenge during using this solution was while we are using live video feeds, we also had to ensure that we follow ethical AI practices, okay, to ensure individual privacy. okay, so that, okay, the identity of any of the students or faculty is compromised. So we also ensured that. And today, like thousands of students and employees are continuing their work and education, okay, through physical classes because of our solution. And I think that is a huge validation of our work when clients, okay, entrust our AI solution with their health and safety. Okay, and the key highlight in all this was basically when we deployed the solution, the positivity rate was 5 times lesser within the educational institutions compared to the population outside the campus.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, I want to come to Tejas. Tejas, if you could also kindly brief yourself before you actually start answering the question. AI is new, and especially in developing countries like India, also emerging countries. Now, how are the countries like us implementing or taking AI into building solutions to different complex problems? Uh, that is one. And then any other such large scale, kind of projects you are handling?
Yeah, right, Akram. Actually, we did a lot of like complex problems which on AI in India as well as outside the India. So in like what one of the most complex problems what we have solved was for one of the world's largest frozen food company. So here, our client was struggling to accurately predict the demand of their products, which in turn led to huge inventory pileups and locked supply chains. So due to this forecasting inefficiencies, they were losing almost around 6% of their revenue, which translated to close to $30 million loss. So as a solution, we developed a robust forecasting model to predict the demand for over 12,000 plus stores. For developing this model, we use their historical data as well as their external data. And after this prediction model was deployed in their environment, so they were able to plan their production and supply chain efficiently, and they were able to reduce their losses by almost 60%, thereby leading to savings of more than around 18-20 million dollars. Yeah. So that was one of the most complex what we have developed in like outside India, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to come back to Senthil. Senthil, what is your global expansion plan? What is your roadmap for next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so we have global aspirations. Okay, so one is basically the immediate short term for us is, okay, to focus all our efforts into building a world class AI product and platform. Okay, so that is where we are going to focus our efforts in terms of time, resources, and money. Okay, so that is the first and foremost. And then we are also once when we kind of evaluate the product market fit, okay, the next natural step for us is to scale our operations. Okay, so here we also need to look at our marketing and go to market strategy, okay, to ensure that, okay, we are able to kind of leverage our strengths and identify the right market opportunity. And then we are also planning to scale our marketing initiatives, what we are doing currently. Okay, so that is also our other major uh, plan, okay, which we need to execute. And finally, yes, we also need to go for funding. Okay, so that is one of the key requirements. But when we go for funding, we are also looking for investors, okay, who can not only help us with the required capital, but who can also come on board, okay, and help us with their experience, okay, help us with the market reach, okay, and more of us, okay, help us to accelerate our growth.
Okay, Senthil, what are the other interesting projects that you are working on today?
Okay, sure. So today we are working with a bunch of interesting use cases, and we are solving a lot of problems. Okay, so we work with clients across the board in North America and India, and verticals. Okay, we typically are on e-commerce, retail, CPG, and financial services. And here, in some of the key problems, okay, what we work are, say, for example, one of the world's largest cocoa trading firms. Okay, so here we are helping them to automate their entire procurement planning phase, okay, using AI. Okay, this was done manually, and there is a room for a lot of manual errors. So this we are completely making it automated using AI and machine learning. And the next important thing is for one of India's larger consumer tech company. Okay, so we have built a multi-dimensional segmentation model. Okay, using which they were able to look at micro segments. Okay, and target them with campaigns. And not only that, okay, they were able to monitor uh, customer behavior and product usage at multiple levels, which was not even possible earlier. And most importantly, they were able to reduce the amount that they were spending on social media ads by more than 25%. And for another interesting use case was, okay, is a major problem with other direct to consumer companies as well. Most of the direct consumer companies, okay, face a huge challenge where most of the customers become dormant of the initial purchase. So similarly, for one of our clients, okay, we kind of looked into their dormant customer base, okay, help them to reactivate it, okay, which helps them to enhance their bottom line by considerable amount. And the final kind of problem what we are working is, okay, is more around kind of an NLP forensics. Okay, so where for an investment research firm, we are going through historical earnings call reports and trying to find, okay, based on the tone of the management and questions from the analysts, we are trying to find out, okay, or mine instances where the management was not forthcoming, or they were giving factually incorrect statements, or okay, or they were kind of diverting the communication. Okay, so these are some things, okay, which were traditionally done very manually. Okay, and most of the time analysts are, I mean, don't are not able to get the best out of this. So but using AI, okay, so they were able to detect these anomalies very easily. Okay, so that is one of the most interesting projects that we are working on.
Excellent. Tejas, last comment or final message for your potential investors, potential clients or customers, especially focusing on the kind of product offerings you can directly offer to different stakeholders or different potential clients. For example, there can be government potential clients, government clients, or there can be education institutions. There can be any manufacturing companies. So, what are the offerings in terms of with your final message?
Yeah. So me and Senthil, like we come with around like 30 years of experience in AI and machine learning, and combined we have almost around like 16 decades of experience, like from our company, mentors, advisors, and all. And we have successfully deployed AI solutions across like 4 major continents, like across USA, North America, Asia, Singapore, like Middle East, as well as African countries. So we have experience in working across all the geographies. So and we have successfully delivered all the AI solutions 100% of times. So that's what, like we have huge experience, and we come with both consulting as well as product mindset. And yeah.
Thank you. Senthil, your last message.
Yeah, sure. So majorly, like as a company today, we majorly work with companies in e-commerce, retail, CPG, and financial services, and we help companies at multiple levels. Okay, two or three. So the first is we help them with data science consulting, where we help these companies to understand their customer, their market, okay, and identify, okay, insights and patterns from the data, help them to predict business scenarios. Okay. And so basically, we act as a trusted advisor to the CXOs. And the second, okay, most important thing, especially post COVID, is okay, is about our offering Hansen. So here we have helped educational institutions, workplaces to reopen their campuses safely. Okay, and it helps them to automate the facility management, surveillance, the entire operation of visual inspection. So this is also another thing, okay, what we are planning to help companies is to make their workplaces secure and safe. And the final or the most important thing is, okay, about AI engineering. So companies realize AI, they want AI, okay, but the challenge is to get started and scale up on their AI journey. Okay, so that is where we come in. We ensure that right from the purpose stage to the deployment. Okay, we ensure that okay they are able to achieve the purpose as well as the users post using it are happy and feel empowered.
Thank you. So we were talking to two budding entrepreneurs and also co-founders of a promising startup on artificial intelligence and data science, Tenzai. We have our advisory board and mentors. So we will take a quick comment from each of them as to how this journey is going. So at the start, I would like to invite Mr. Gray to kindly give a comment.
Okay, great. Hey, Akram, thank you very much for having us here today. I appreciate it. Senthil, Tejas, thanks for the introduction. I'm really impressed with the background that you've got, with the experience that you've got, and most importantly, the results you've been delivering for your customers. So when I think about artificial intelligence, this is interesting for me, having been in the ERP business application space for about 20 or 30 years. Nobody ever wakes up and says, man, I got to go buy some artificial intelligence today. But many of them actually need that. So what they're trying to do is solve problems. So one of the things that's impressed me most with Tenzai is they're solving problems for their customers. You heard them talk about the way they solve problems for universities during COVID to get students and teachers back to school and on campus safely. You heard them talk about how they solved problems for frozen food manufacturers and reduced their waste and increased their efficiency and saved them a bunch of money with artificial intelligence and data science. Now, how are they able to do that? Well, one, they're really smart guys, and they've got a very, very smart team. They're educated around the topics of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning. But more importantly, they ask good questions. They know how to go into businesses and investigate, discover where the problems might be, discover where the opportunities are, and take that technology and really turn it into a solution for their customers. And then most importantly, with those solutions, they can scale as the companies grow, and they also teach the companies how to use these solutions so they can use them to continue their benefit. So that's what's really impressed me about Tenzai so far.
Thank you. Mr. Ramesh Iyer, how do you see the journey of Tenzai, and how is the future ahead?
Senthil and Tejas, congratulations. A fantastic journey so far from what you guys have told us on this show. So, more important than anything else in today's world, every company has to seriously look at implementing AI in order to complement and supplement human capability. Also to ensure that the productivity of whatever the mundane tasks that you have, you eliminate those mundane tasks and improve productivity, and more importantly, augment human intelligence and not remove it. Right, that is the core of AI. And from the use cases, what Senthil and Tejas were pointing out, it's very beautiful to hear from them that it's purpose-driven AI, which is what impressed me, because the capabilities, the credentials, and the intent of Tenzai looks very amazing. And purpose-driven AI and ethical AI are something that every company should look at. If you do not have any purpose and you just deploy AI for the sake of bringing in AI or technology, it will have some unintended consequences. It will lead to challenges. And understand the heartbeat of AI is the complex algorithm, right? And if the algorithm is not written for a purpose, it can have a negative consequence or negative impact. It can even, it's called algorithmic harm, right? In the AI terminology, I'm sure majority of many of you would know this, right? It will lead to destruction, not construction, right? There is a term called weapons of math destruction, not mass destruction, right? So it's very important to know, and hence everyone has to have an objective. Every company has to have a business objective very clear for which you want to deploy AI, and then align it to serve that business objective, right? So I think in this context, what Tenzai is attempting to do is extraordinary. And if they can pull it off with the kind of engineering strength and the vision of the founders, they will be on a great journey, and it'll be. I can see them becoming a global company soon.
Excellent. Mr. Anil Subramanian.
I keep forgetting that. So from what I've heard from Senthil and Tejas on the show, and whatever briefing notes were shared with us, I think this is a company with a purpose. So there is a purpose in their existence. There is a purpose behind their AI strategy. There is a purpose behind the solutions they have developed. There is a purpose behind what they have implemented, and the impact of what they've implemented is so visible. I've seen several companies waste millions of dollars in unaligned business solutions. Okay, so there is a segment of the company that wants a solution, it's implemented, no one uses it. So what Tenzai has been focusing on is on the purpose of the implementation, the usability of the implementation, and the good effects of that implementation. And what is important is in the AI journey, Tenzai has understood the business requirement, implemented the solution, and has been with the customers in measuring the impact as well. So I've seen many of the companies do the project and they just forget about it. But I think this is a very different approach, very aligned approach, making sure that the impact is measured and the benefits of whatever expenditure that a customer is incurring is passed on to the customer and measured and communicated as well. And of course, this gives a lot of room for course correction as well. I'm sure Senthil, Tejas, you have gone through all of this. I think there is a big future, a very bright future in the post-pandemic economic revival. And I can only wish you the best alongside my colleagues here on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now let me invite the mentor and advisor of the Global Innovation and Entrepreneurs Show, Dr. P. Sekhar, your final comment on the startup and the entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Akram. Thanks, Anand. Thank Greg. Thank Ramesh. And of course, our two promoters today, Senthil and Tejas. Now, what I see clearly is here is a startup which is coming with already implemented projects in 4 continents. It is very interesting to know.
Excellent.
And also, they have saved even $30 million to a client. I hope they have it in writing. And it will have a very great impact on any future growth. And especially when an investor comes, or when you have somebody who is trying to take the products from you, because you have a customer reference and you have a reference of a customer who has got return on investment far more than what he must have paid for your product. That is one small thing. And today, artificial intelligence is like an operating system type. Everybody wants it. Even right from a small grocery shop owner to the person who is making NASA and ISRO type people, they all want it. So the market is very, very huge, very, very huge. Of course, out of this, almost 60% will be an artificial market, which as a developer, I don't think you care whether he's using it artificially or he's doing it really. And 40% will be very serious market, where they will rip you to pieces to get the results, which you should be prepared for. Others who are doing it for the thing, it'll just be in simulation. I did A plus B and C came, and they will say C is by artificial intelligence because they would like to tell a client. That's one. So that's one. Another point which I didn't hear you all saying, which is also a huge market, is a training and skill development in artificial intelligence. That's a very, very high degree of market which is existing today also, which is starting today, and which will go in a very big way as we go forward. So I'm sure you all should think over it and keep a separate division for training, not only of your product, training of clients in this field, because there will be a highly paying crowd for the next half a decade. After that, it may taper out. So for the next half a decade to 1 decade, there'll be huge amount of training, and especially with COVID having come, which we can do remote or whatever we call as virtual training, it will have a big, because even a customer who may like to buy your product, you may have to train them what he has got to buy, how he has to even negotiate with you, you may have to guide them, because they would not know what is this devil or deep sea, they do not know. They just know something like AI is today's trend. So I want it. Okay. So if I want it, you have to ask him that this is what you have to ask me. This is the way I will take care. And this is what is the return on investment for you. Because finally, they will be clever enough to know what is good for them. That's what they will take. So training has to be a very big ticket size thing which you have to do. And I'm sure you all would do with the type of people who are supporting you and the type of people who would advise you. And if you're already doing on 4 continents, please ensure that you have your justification letters, confirmation letters, and your approval from the point of view of future business. With that, of course, I congratulate and thank both of you and Akram for choosing such a good company. And I'm sure everything will go extremely well for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sekhar. So viewers, you're watching the Policy Times Global in Entrepreneurship and Innovator show. As described, we have a very a wonderful panel of advisors with who themselves are entrepreneurs, very successful global entrepreneurs come mentors, and now mentoring a lot of promising startups. And this is the show where we select a very few of those unique startups who have something unique to offer to the society. So thank you. Keep watching. In the next episode, we will meet another entrepreneur with such unique, promising ideas in mind. Thank you. Keep watching the Policy Times.